Thank you for joining me in this video series with practical tools for developing self-awareness. This is episode 8, Seeing the Roadblocks, How Wounds and Protectors Block Access to Peace, Discerning Protective Patterns with Neuroscience and Heart. There are times when peace feels elusive. You know the feeling. You can't slow down, you feel pressure to perform, or you withdraw and numb out, maybe engaging in scrolling. Often those patterns are not character flaws. They are protective strategies. The nervous system and psyche's attempt to keep pain from repeating. These protectors, such as perfectionism, over-control, and avoidance, were adaptive once, and they may still serve a short-term function. But they can also become roadblocks to living from your inner compass, to the wise, heart-led life you long for. Research helps us see how this plays out in the body. Early stress and attachment disruptions are associated with lower baseline vagal tone, which is a physiological index of regulation, as well as heightened reactivity in threat systems such as the amygdala. Polyvagal-informed science shows that the vagus nerve and its regulation are central to our capacity for social engagement, safety, and emotional regulation. When safety signals are weak, the nervous system defaults to protection. This is a learned protective behavior that your body developed in childhood. Mindfulness and compassionate practices, however, provide a reliable path off the autopilot of protection. Attentional training through mindfulness can increase prefrontal regulatory activity and reduce amygdala reactivity, allowing you to observe protective impulses without being consumed by them. Breath and body-based practices increase vagal tone, offering a physiological route out of chronic activation and into curiosity and safety. Psychologically and spiritually, the invitation is to notice what your protectors are trying to prevent and to ask them with kindness, what are you protecting me from? That question, asked from your inner compass, is not an interrogation, but an offering of safety. It helps reveal the wound beneath the strategy and allows integration rather than an endless rehearsal of old pain. When psychology, such as understanding your parts, neuroscience, how the vagus, amygdala, and prefrontal cortex function, and spirituality, trusting the heart's wisdom, are woven together, you get a rich, practical map for moving from chronic protection to steady presence. This is how you remember how to live in the present moment, which you probably did quite often in childhood, but because of experiences you had, you learned to disengage from that way of being. Let's try a guided practice to help you remember how to do this. This practice is called mindfully softening around resistance. We want to begin by grounding and bringing in observation. So I invite you to find a comfortable seat, perhaps placing your feet on the floor. I invite you to begin by noticing what your breath is doing. At first, just accept what is present, allowing your body to breathe in its habitual pattern. Perhaps saying to your body, I see you, I accept you, I love you. And then invite your body to take slow, deep breaths with you, beginning to ask yourself, where do I feel resistance in my body right now? Notice without judgment. Next, I invite you to name the protector. If a voice or a pattern arises, for example, you must be perfect, don't trust, push harder, I invite you to label it gently. Perfectionism is here. Avoidance is here. Then I invite you to breathe and send love towards the tightness, perhaps placing a hand over the area or on your heart. And invite the breath in slowly, inhaling on 4 counts and sending love to that area. Pausing for 1 to 2 counts after the inhalation, and then exhaling on a 6 count, inviting that area to soften and release. This pattern supports vagal engagement and the parasympathetic system response, which helps your body relax and return to its natural state of equilibrium. Next, invite in some curiosity. From that safe space of your heart, which feels regulated, ask inwardly, what are you protecting me from? Wait quietly for an image, a feeling, a simple word, or a knowing. Listen from the heart, your inner compass, and not from your mind, not from judgment. Sit as long as it takes for you to feel or hear an answer. Pause here if you need more time. And when you have a response, I invite you to offer it reassurance. Respond to the protector with compassion, perhaps saying something like, "Thank you for trying to keep me safe. You don't have to carry this burden alone. I am here." Visualize yourself holding the protector with your hand and your heart, perhaps visualizing love and light coming from your heart and surrounding that part of yourself. Notice the response. Stay with this as long as you feel called to do so, perhaps pausing again here. And after it feels like you have spent a loving amount of time with this part of yourself, I invite you to anchor in the learning. I invite you to take one more slow cycle of compassionate breath and imagine the nervous system recording a new memory of safety through curiosity, not safety through control. With any practice, the more you practice this way of being, the stronger that neural pathway gets. And we know that the brain likes to conserve energy by finding neural pathways that already exist. So by strengthening this neural pathway, you're training your brain to access this way of being in the future when you feel stressed or overwhelmed. As always, I invite you to reflect upon this experience. So maybe grab a journal or some art supplies, maybe put on some music to move or sing, and contemplate the following questions, perhaps pausing the video after each one. What protector is most active in your life now? For example, was it avoidance, perfectionism, over-control, etc.? When you respond from your heart's curiosity, what does the protector reveal it has been guarding? What small, compassionate action can you take today that honors the need behind the protection without amplifying the pattern? Seeing roadblocks clearly is the first step. Softening them is sustained work. Each time you practice this gentle inquiry, noticing, breathing, asking, reassuring, and loving this part, you are creating new neural pathways for safety and trust. Slowly, the inner compass reasserts itself as the primary guide, and protection becomes a temporary honored messenger rather than the default ruler of your life. Thank you for giving your inner world this time and tenderness. And thank you for trusting me to be your guide. If you found this helpful, please subscribe for more guided practices. Or visit my website, blossomingheartwellness.com, to learn about ways to work with me and join my waitlist. My book, The Divine Within, Healing Ourselves to Heal the World, expands these practices into a practical, soulful path for making inner transformation ripple outward. Remember, Protectors once kept you safe. Now your inner compass can guide them home, gently, steadily, and with love. Sending you so much love and appreciation for who you are and where you are on your healing journey.